My phone is my bank.
Sampath Mobile Banking. Convenient, easy, saves time. Sampath Bank, we present your future.
A very good evening to all our viewers and Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim viewers who celebrate the end of the 30-day fasting period. I'm Ramesh Rugal Bandara and this is Weekend Primetime News on MTV and Shakti TV. Let's first take a look at your headlines.
President stresses the importance of a change in retirement procedures for state sector employees.
මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහතුමා පෙන්ලා රටට පණ දෙමු කියලා. අවුරුදු 10ක් රටට පාලනය කරා. පවුලට පණ දුන්නා. රට නැති කරා. ජනතාවට කවන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන දේවල් ගැන කතා කරනවා තමයි අඩු ගානේ.
LTTට මුදල් දීලා ඡන්ද පොලට උතුරු නැගෙනහිර ප්‍රජාව යන එක නතර කරේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමාද මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමාද.
The UPFA says that it will publicize the Hansard reports in connection to controversial bond scam.
On to our first story tonight. Speaking at an event in Colombo yesterday, President Maithripala Sirisena spoke on the need for new retirement procedures for state sector employees.
අපේ රටේ මානව සම්පත
When highly skilled and experienced people who are valuable human resources retire from state services at the age of 42 and 43, especially in the defense sector, their leaving can be viewed as a huge loss to the country in terms of development. They are graduate holders and have been highly trained. They are sent home by the time they turn 45. As we are a country that is witnessing fast-paced development, we must reconsider the retirement policy of the Tri Forces and introduce a new retirement procedure in all sectors.
ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් නව වැඩපිළිවෙලක අවශ්‍යතාවය මම දක්වනවා.
On to our developing story tonight. Here are some of the views expressed at main campaigning rallies of the UPFA and the UNP.
මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහතුමා පෙන්ලා රටට පණ දෙමු කියලා.
Mahinda Rajapaksa said, "Let us give life to the country." He governed the country for 10 years. He only gave life to his party. The slogan should not be "Let's give life to the country," but "Let's give saline to Mahinda."
මහින්දට saline දෙමු කියලා.
I am a person who lived in the town. I lived in the town to strengthen the economy of the village. We will create 1 million job opportunities in the next 5 years. We will create a state that will see economic development. That is what we will see in Trincomalee.
ආර්ථික සංවර්ධන ප්‍රාන්තයක් හදනවා. ඒක තමයි තිරුකුණාමලේ ආර්ථික සංවර්ධන ප්‍රාන්තය.
I had 6 years left, but I went into the election with 2 years remaining. That is where I was mistaken. They eat ham and bacon, yet they speak of fish I eat. They say I eat chocolates. They say I eat what the giants eat. We ate well, but we ate kurakang. Kurakang is not like chocolates. He has diabetes, I don't. Do not speak of what we eat. Speak about what you are going to feed the people with. The villager knows the necessities of the villager, not the people who eat ham and bacon in Colombo 7.
ජනතාවට කවන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන දේවල් ගැන කතා කරනවා තමයි අඩු ගානේ. ඒ ගැමියාගේ වුමනාව දන්නේ ගැමියෝ. ඔලඹ හතේ හැම් බේකන් කප්පාය නෙවෙයි.
මම අහන්න කැමති මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ.
What I would like to ask is as to who paid the LTTE a sum of money to stop them from going to voting centres in the north and the east during the 2005 presidential elections. Was it Ranil Wickremesinghe or Mahinda Rajapaksa? I would like to responsibly state that the UNP has never given party membership to LTTE members. It was during the time when Mahinda Rajapaksa led the Sri Lanka Freedom Party that valued seats from the SLFP were gifted to individuals such as Pillayan and Karunamman.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ නායකයාව සිටිනකොට
What you just witnessed was also the trending story of the day. Here are some of the comments that came in through the News First Facebook page. Athura Palayangoda says that we live in a more civilized world. All leaders should set an example. It would be better to discuss policies on the political stage rather than slinging mud. Donald Vatnakulusuriya says he can never come back to power if there is another war. We can seek his help. MR is not suitable to govern the country. Manju Janaka Imbulegama says that usually the people who enter parliament are the candidates who lie, speak in profane language, make jokes and sing on political stages. That is the trending story of the day. UNP candidate from the Anuradhapura district P. Harrison commented on the inaugural rally of the United People's Freedom Alliance which was held in Anuradhapura yesterday.
When the former president contested in the presidential elections, he brought a large crowd to the Salgado grounds. He has an itch to see large crowds. They attempted to bring a large crowd from across Sri Lanka to yesterday's meeting, but there were not even 10,000 people in Anuradhapura. They brought in crowds from Homagama, Kottava and Polonnaruwa. How did we see this? Because bus conductors from Homagama and Kottava were shouting for passengers who came from the Homagama bus to board the Homagama bus and the crowd who came from Kottava to board the Kottava bus. There were no buses in Petta yesterday. Not only this, when they got down, the crowd from Homagama went straight to Chandrasena's house and were given blue caps to wear, saying Chandrasena for Kalaweva.
Leader of the JVP, Anukumara Dissanayake, expressed the following views at an election campaign meeting held in Kiribathura last evening.
A group of veteran artists were present at the Gamba district inaugural campaign meeting of the JVP. Why did the group who was with Mahinda Rajapaksa come into politics? He was first a member of the parliament, then a minister, he was opposition leader, prime minister and finally president for 9 years. He had 2 more years at hand. This was not a thing to take lightly. He cast those 2 years aside and contested to get 7 years. He decided the dates. Astrologer Sumanadasa finalized it. They went into the election and lost. He should be at home. Why is he coming again? Now the former president is contesting to become an MP. We do not know if he will remain as an MP for long because an investigation has begun on a corruption charge, and if he is found guilty, then he will lose the post of MP as well.
Staying in news from the political arena, leader of the Democratic Party, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca, engaged in campaigning activities in Matale yesterday. The Rajapaksas earned millions and lived in luxury. Now they have nothing and are sitting on straw mats. Now they are eyeing the coconut trees in Kurunagala. They are driving around distributing ethanol in 200 vehicles. Kurunagala is a location which enjoys its traditional roots. They are attempting to destroy that as well. You will vote for the party you love despite there being nothing to eat or drink, infants being deprived of milk powder and children being deprived of shoes to wear or books to study. The politicians of no repute know about this, which is the reason why they fail to fulfill this responsibility. Did all of you receive the benefits of development? But Rajapaksa and his family did. The rally to muster support for the Matale district candidates of the Democratic Party was held at the Ambagamulla bus depot in Matale yesterday. A media briefing was held under the auspices of former Minister Patli Champika Ranawaka in Colombo today. The UPFA had the urge to dissolve Parliament at the end of 100 days. That would have been a conspiracy plotted by the Westerners to dissolve Parliament immediately. If Mahinda Rajapaksa or any other defence personnel who played an integral role in the nation's security are posed with any threat from the international community, it is our responsibility to stand against it. We need to assure that those who serve their own purposes in the backdrop of the war will be brought to book. The interim report, which was issued by the Maxwell Paranagama Commission and the Desmond Silva Commission, which was appointed by Mahinda Rajapaksa, is under close review by the government.
The minister also explained about the course of action that's slated to be taken by the government after the general elections.
The 5-plan framework is in the pipeline for the next 5 years after the next government takes over. The objective is to conclude the plan within the lapse of 5 years. A proper economic policy and a social market economic policy will be introduced during these 5 years. A new national coalition and a new economic policy and a new political culture will be given birth to subsequent to the election. We would like to clearly state that through the amendments to the constitution, we will safeguard the autonomy of the country as promised through good governance.
රටේ ඒකීය භාවයත් සෛරීත්වයත් සුරක්ෂිත කරන බව අපි ඊටම පැහැදිලිව ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
Let's now take a look at some of the views expressed in the political arena.
When I was in Avissawella, a mother came to me and began to weep. She said that she has only one child and he was addicted to drugs. He was only 20 years old. How did this child become addicted to drugs? Whose responsibility is it? What did the Rajapaksas do all this time? We saw many young adults who left us in the last election. We have commenced a program to build an SLFP-led government in order to win the hearts of the youth. While Mahinda Rajapaksa spent millions in the last presidential election, we reached into the devil's mouth and clinched victory. This is not the situation now. Mahinda now stands alone in the middle of a lake. They said that they will create a leadership which is humane and virtuous. When they stopped providing funds to construct a roof for a school, then one would understand as to what sort of people they are.
full pickup එකේ tune එකේ හිටියේ. ඉස්තිරෝම එක්සත් ජාතිපක්ෂ ආණ්ඩුවක් කියලා.
A few people were a bit baffled when Mahinda Rajapaksa signed the nomination papers. But Maithripala Sirisena had only to make one speech. The king's trousers have come off and he is on constant alert with his thieves. We want an SLFP-led government. We cannot do this with Ranil as Prime Minister. If we want to establish an SLFP government, then we need to make a Sri Lankan the Prime Minister. They tried hard to get me to cross over. Ranil Wickremesinghe, addressing his party convention, said that Janaka Bandara would join him. It was through him that I got to know that I was joining the party.
You can see those waves. It was those who were involved with Alibaba and his 40 thieves that are trying to bring Mahinda Rajapaksa back into power in fear that they will have to go to the FCID.
What was happening in the country on a daily basis? It is only after they swindled public funds and after they stole from the Mattala airport that they began conducting post-mortem examinations. Prior to this, there was no method in which they were able to stop the thievery.
Welcome back to the news. Yet another edition of the National Anti-Drug Drive Door-to-Door campaign was conducted by Newsfirst, Sirsa and Shakti in the North Central Province today. The program was held with the assistance of the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board and the Sri Lanka Police.
The program got underway today under the theme No Drugs in Me, My Home or My Country. The event kicked off with a ceremony at the Vijayapura Pirivena Temple in Anuradhapura.
This should be implemented on a regular basis. The Sirasa network has understood this aspect. By conducting door-to-door campaigns, we are able to better direct the course of future generations.
Today's door-to-door campaign was held in Vijayapura, Viharapalugama and Moragoda in the Anuradhapura district. Members of Newsfirst, Sirasa and Shakti, together with the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board, raised awareness in several villages. Awareness was raised on the drug menace and the repercussions of drug use. People were also given advice on drug de-addiction and recovery. Another edition of the anti-drug drive was held in Polonnaru following a ceremony at the Kalukale Sugatharamaya temple.
We hope that this program, which is being held to eradicate drugs from this country, which commenced in Polonnaruwa, Alla, Kalukale, Vihara for our district, will be beneficial for the public. I wish to state that this program has clearly become a driving force to eradicate drug use in the community.
The program will continue in Polonnaruwa and Anuradhapura tomorrow.
Former Minister Nirmala Kothalawala says that he has decided to bid farewell to politics. He cited the reasons for this at a media briefing held in Kalutara today.
The reason why I decided to step down from politics is because I believe I cannot hold the common political ideologies I have in the prevailing political landscape. More than political ideologies, politics of the country has been instilled with revenge and resentment rather than the political arena being a field where political ideologies can be put to practice. What is happening now is that politicians are trying to iron out their differences rather than resolve the issues of the people. Therefore, I decided to take a back seat as a common man given the current political scenario. I do not want anyone to feel weighed down or feel responsible for my resignation, as this was my independent decision to step down.
Former Minister
Nirmala Kothalawala also spoke about the corruption allegations levelled at politicians.
The most famous allegation levelled at politicians is on corruption. The counter reaction for such allegations are prove it if you can. Those are the remarks that are brought forward. The conscience knows what was done. I believe that my conscience knows whether I have exploited public finances or property. If I have exploited public property, land or money, then I would not live a good life, nor would my children.
Here are some of the views that were expressed by the people about the country's current political landscape and its representatives.
When the election draws near, everyone shouts out loud, promising to give everything we need. But when you come to think of it, there's nothing that is fulfilled.
All of them play the same recording every day.
These children are given holidays quite frequently. They say it is because of elections. Children's education is thrown out of the window because of certain things.
They say the nation's father is our father. When you come to think of it, nothing was fulfilled at last. The amount of pressure we went through until we finished our A-levels, we felt it when we were doing A-levels. At this time around, there are politicians who give speeches after entering tuition classes.
Roads are not developed. There is no development in Kandy.
They point fingers saying that the other is a thief. How can we comprehend it? They live in Colombo in AC room.
We need to vote for those who contributed to building a drainage or a light post, someone who did something for the country. There is no point in voting in return for false promises for bottles or rice packs.
The controversy surrounding the central bank treasury bond scam has taken center stage in the run-up to the elections. A court order was issued with regard to the interim report compiled by the COPE committee on the central bank treasury bond issue. Now this stirred much debate among certain factions today as well.
They have issued an order preventing the publishing of the COPE report. The court does not have the power to control the activities of the parliament. I state that with much responsibility. We have said this not once, not twice, but multiple times that the power vested with the parliament cannot be tampered with by the judicial authority. If the need arises, the parliament can change the judiciary. Why is the Prime Minister so afraid of the treasury bond scam? Is he the thief of thieves? Won't society be suspicious now that they are refusing to remove the central bank governor? Because this was orchestrated by him. The members of the COPE committee have therefore decided to come before the law with regard to this. In addition to this, I will take measures to publish a report with all the remarks made to the Hansard report as well as during debates in Parliament with regard to this. Therefore, prohibiting the COPE report will not give cause to any issue. Then neither the UNP nor the judiciary will be able to prevent that.
UNP Gampa district candidate State Minister Ruwan Wijewardena says he hopes to see more people unite towards a better political culture. He made this statement at a rally held in Gampaha today.
A group of youth of the SLFP attached to the Minuangodi electorate obtained UMP membership at the rally which was held at the Gampa District Elections Campaign Office under the auspices of State Minister of Defence Ruwan Wijewardena. We have embarked on this journey by joining hands with others in order to bring change to this nation, in order to bring a political culture which is pure. We are very happy to get a group of youth involved in this journey. We are hopeful that with a wave of people joining hands with us, we can achieve a resounding victory on the 19th of August.
Today, Muslims across the world celebrate the festival of Ramadan, also known as Eid al-Fitr.
Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar and is the month in which the Quran was revealed. During this month, Muslims begin their period of fasting with the sighting of the crescent new moon. This period of fasting draws to a close with the sighting of the crescent new moon in the 10th month of the Islamic calendar, which is known as Shawwal. The morning of the day following the sighting of the crescent new moon in the month of Shawwal is called Eid al-Fitr and is on this day that the festival of Ramadan is observed. A special religious ceremony was held at the Golface Green this morning to celebrate Eid al-Fitr.
On this auspicious day, may Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala grant all of us barakah, and we also pray for the betterment of our country that we live. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala grant all success in our country and make all the people live with unity and harmony.
Meanwhile, the Ramazan festival was celebrated at the Devatagar Mosque in Colombo in this manner. Religious activities were also observed at the Grand Mosque of Colombo this morning in line with the festival of Ramadan. Meanwhile, a number of cities across the island celebrated Eid al-Fitr in this manner.
Allahu Akbar.
Leader of the People's United National Front for Good Governance, Susil Kinderpitia, expressed the following views at a public meeting in Meetharamulla today.
I belong to Kolonnawa. Kolonnawa is the poorest area in the Colombo district. What is the reason behind this? Information has been found that there are 7,000 people who are addicted to heroin in Kolonnawa. This is not a small amount. I got for the people in the last year as provincial councillor. I did not construct roads. I did not erect light posts. This should be done by the government. I used this money for the public. Now I want to go further.
Speaking at the 18th Annual General Meeting of the MBA Alumni Association of the University of Colombo, former High Commissioner to the United Kingdom Dr. Chris Nones emphasized on the need for a knowledge-based economy.
If we are to endeavor to move our country from developing to developed economy, is that we must move towards a knowledge-based, a knowledge-driven economy. A, we need to have a knowledge-driven economy. B, we need, in order to do that, to be able to be receptive to change. But C, we also need to understand that that change, the speed of that change is happening faster and faster and faster because of these disruptive technologies. And therein lies the opportunity for countries like us. Because these technologies, if we adopt a knowledge-driven economy, these technologies have the power to democratize countries. They have the power to democratize people. And they have the power to democratize businesses, because a small man can then compete on that platform equally with a multinational. And then our citizens become empowered.
And that's a wrap of Weekend Primetime News for tonight. We also wish to congratulate Manju Tenura of Sports First, who bagged the Best Sports Presenter Award at the Silk Award ceremony held at the BMI CH today. For the News First team, I'm Ramesh Bandara. Good night.